BEEX project is a no-profit foundation about visual art and photography. If you want to help us, just drop a donation on buymeacoffee.com/BerlinExplorer. So, welcome to this 50-minute of experience. Today I'm with Bego Amare. Welcome to this podcast.
Thank you.
So,
thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure for me to have you here and to talk with you today. And as you know, I would like to ask you if you can introduce a bit of yourself, and then we can go on and talk a bit better about your work as a photographer also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. Well, I'm a photographer. I'm based in Madrid. I don't work as a photographer, but I spend most of my hours thinking about it and making a street photography. And I've been doing this photography thing around 30 years already. So it's started with the lab, film, like a lot of people, and then I passed to digital and started in a street like a year ago around. I mean, more consciously, it's the camera was always with me, but the streets, I mean, walking, photo shooting in the streets, like after this lockdown and the pandemic situation. So I decided I needed to go out and do it like more consciously and try to learn and to improve that.
Yeah, totally. I understand what you mean, and I understand also probably the circumstance put you in another kind of vision, no, to also spend the time outside in a different way. And I'm curious to know what usually is your state of mind when you go outside and you walk. There's something in particular jump up to your mind, or you're just say, okay, just take a walk in here in this street, in this area, and what else happened in front of me, this what else, for example, if it's in this case, what can be for you really what you are in a way looking for?
Well, I live, outside Madrid, so I don't have like a street or a city close. So I like to go to Madrid, spend a few hours, and most of the time I don't think about anything. I just go out with maybe a good light, but also in the rain. I don't mind if the circumstances are appropriate and I can go. Just wandering. I like to wander the streets, mostly in the city center, because it's where you have more, crowded areas and more fun, to find some scenes or things. And what stops me mostly is the light. I also like reflections. Some of my friends say that I am a reflectist by nature, but I also like, a good building, a good light. I like to isolate people. That is something I noticed of myself lately. And the colors, I used to shoot in colors. Sometimes I do black and white, but very rare.
Yeah, I think it's interesting the work in color, especially in the street, and especially in the case of your picture, because the black and white sometimes is for some kind of storytelling, and in your case, the perspective, the subject, the also the color you look for, I think they deserve to be catched in color most of the time. I see in your work there is a lot of research of color. I mean, you are attracted from some particular color and some particular light, and this permit you also to have a storytelling of the picture with more details. That's something probably go in contrast with some other people. They go in the street and they want to catch more the moment than the aesthetically part, and so then it doesn't matter if they have a color or black and white. It's matter more the action of the moment than the whole story around, And
Yeah, I like the good use of light, you know, and also kind of pictorialist kind of scenes, you know, with like beautiful buildings or a beautiful light with a person, you know, that which colors match with the building or whatever. I like
yeah,
that kind of pictorialist images.
and I understand. So just because you mentioned that about beauty, I want to ask you. This is something I ask only to the people mentioned that. So I want to ask you, what is for you the beauty? I mean, how do you can describe the concept of beauty?
Wow, that's a good one. Something, you know, that puts you in a good mood, maybe but you can find beauty in almost anything, even, you know, in a monster. Yesterday I was going out, you know, it was Halloween night,
Yeah. Okay.
and there were, you know, people in disguise, and you could think like with the makeup and so on, but you know, under a good light, they look beautiful to me. So you can convert also the most miserable thing or the plant in your house or a piece in the wall with a picture in a beautiful thing. It's
Yeah.
something you want to look, you know, over and over, and it's like, you know, it cheers you up in a bit, your mood and I don't know, beauty is everywhere. I would say it's
Yeah.
everywhere, and that's also the magic of photography, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, my question is for sure a provocative question in a way, also to evoke this sense of first of all, it's something really personal, and second, is something you can find in everything. So then, you know, I like to repeat this concept because most of the time, beauty is something. Especially today, we are, I think, a lot influenced. Not we, I think, but more the young generation are most influenced from what is the sense of beauty, and what and they relate to that as something is in a structure, but it's not, because it's a kind of concept, as a freedom, as a kind of concept, as a love, and as a different form, different shape, different way to approach with. And anyway, to change the topic, in your website there are really a lot of different kind of picture, different type of situation, and I like a lot of that, because in a way I can relate to many experience you did in your life, and this is probably the reason why I started to do this podcast, because I like these things that a lot of photographers, they relate to many different stories, many different things, and so we can say in a way the photographer is, I don't want to say the storyteller only, but is someone detaining in a way the heritage of the world, you know. And I wanted to know, just if you come up to your mind one of these experience you did as a photographer touched you really, and in which way you put yourself inside of this scene.
Mm. Do you mean a particular experience that
I mean, yeah, it
put me there?
can be any experience you did. I mean, there are thousands of pictures and
Yeah,
thousands of moments, and I think,
yes. You know, it comes to my mind when I was living in UK, and in UK I practiced a lot of macro because we were visiting gardens that were so beautiful. I mean, I was just lost. I could be there for an hour with my macro, just entering into these little, you know, closed flowers, and it's like discovering another world. And that's something also that I like, and I abandon in a way when I go to the streets now. I don't do macro now. So that enters you into a state of concentration that is very. I also do that when I go to the streets.
yeah,
I concentrate a lot, and I just evade. Evade, yes, I evade. Yeah, my mind
yeah, yeah,
with the scene. And in the UK, I also experienced that with a street photograph I made in a hairdressing. There was a girl on a window, and I saw the hairdressing, and I passed by, And then when I was walking away, I thought, no, I have to go back. And because I saw, you know, the girl, and I think it's going to happen something. And then when I went back, I just stepped back a bit, and I was like half an hour there just waiting when the light was so perfect, and the girl was doing like you know, one of these gestures like a ballet dancer on the window, and everything was so perfect, and it was like, oh, I got it. I have it.
I had now in front of me is this one with there is no appointment necessary. This one, yeah.
Yes, that one, that one. And I like the history in this photography, because it was like I was very conscious when I saw the place, and then something happened when I waited like half an hour in the street, you know.
Yeah, it's amazing also the point that you took the title there is no appointment necessary, and then there is the door, it say open, and at the same time there is you inside of the reflection of the mirror. There is the girl is waiting there in the light, and something happened inside of the scene that we don't know, that fit perfectly in the other door is behind this shadow, and so they create this shadow
they
light.
are working inside, you know, they are working inside. There was a lot of activity inside, but the girl was so quiet. And these kind of things is what I like the most, you know, when and the light on her, it was the light on the girl, so it was just perfect.
And I think yes, it's also really. At that I analyze this picture. It's also really interesting that part there is a lot of frames inside. There is a lot of frames. I think it's 1, 2, 3. I don't know how many there are. All inside of the reflection of the main door. There are at least 4, 5 frame, and then inside it's really interesting.
And it's very geometric. When you told me about what was beauty for me, geometry is beautiful for me. I mean, proportions, you know.
and I probably this is something that you say clearly inside of your work, that you love the geometry, and also I can see you like a lot the to play with the perspective, and this give kind of power to your work as in a way
I like to explode. I like to explode the place. When I find a good place, I like to explore different angles. I like to go around. I mean, it's very, very, very funny, very fun to do that. And normally it pays back when you stay out for a while in a place that you like. So there are many possibilities to have a good image.
I have to say that there is also another work in your website that is really attractive, I have to say. It's this one, All Solitude, is about, for sure, yourself, I want to say. I mean, I think I'm Italian, so then I translate just from...
No, it's okay.
So, and it's really particular, I have to say, and also the way that you got in touch with yourself.
The All Solitude project.
And I mean, can you tell me something about what was your also the impression and also your feeling about now that we talk about that?
I did some of these self-portraits when I was in a course. We were exploring narratives projects, so I started to play in my bathroom a little bit, because it was my intimate place to be forever. Well, since I had kids, I think the bathroom gave me some quietness out of the twins noise when they were kids. So it was like my intimate space. So, and I was passing a time of self-acceptance. I mean, my body was changing. I got a bit fatter, and things like this when you are in the 40s or 45s, and everything is changing, and I wanted kind of accept myself. And at the same time, I realized that I like to be alone many times, and I was alone many times when I was in the car, when I was at home, and I like that kind of solitude. So this work is like a tribute, to those moments of solitude that we all have. It's not only about women. But I think women like, somehow or need to look for that to isolate themselves a bit from all the demanding things
Yeah,
on you.
probably this confirm for sure the theory of my girlfriend that time. I have something of a woman inside.
Yeah, well, I don't know, but I don't like to discriminate. I think everyone has that. My husband also needs to isolate himself. I think everyone has to do that every now and then, and I think it's healthy. So in this experimentation or exploring of myself, I started doing these pictures. So
Yeah,
I kind of formed a piece of work. It's kind of 10 images that I mounted in an exhibition after, my
yeah.
course with the
I've
help.
seen on the website.
And it was like that. I just tried to also be a bit poetic, with the trees, because I also love the trees. It's kind of something that identify myself with. And I did that. I mean, it's only like a play or a game with myself, I would say. But from there, I do it every now and then. I mean, it's fun to explore yourself. You find a lot of things that you can
Totally,
like
totally.
or dislike.
It's something that I move on from years. That also to especially this work on discovering yourself and discover the world. So most of the time I think it's really important to understand what is related to you and what is not. And I think it's much more easy to say what is not than what is
Yeah, and
related
in
to
that
you.
in that work, at the same time that I was, isolating myself from, some noise, family noise, etc., I also found myself that discovering that I really love my family, and I go back to them all the time. So it's amazing, that's through photography and through
Yeah.
reflections on your images.
Yeah,
So yeah.
totally. It's what I repeat most of the time, especially in my courses, in my lesson or workshop. That the most of answers come from how we ask to ourselves the things, and photography is a really good tool to relate to how we ask to ourselves something, because it's in the same moment we give a question, we give an answer, and it's automatic, it's unconscious, and it's related to something we don't have to think about. It's instinctive.
Yeah.
And if, for example, we don't go really close to something that's probably, I don't know, give us fear. I mean, this is the same happen in your life as a normal person, not only as a photographer, and it's
True.
totally related, And I wanna
Absolutely.
just talk this last, and I wanna talk about this other project. Is I think it's I mean, there are really many good work in your website, but what touched me a lot is this one, deconstructed, and also because I work a lot in deconstructure, and I see there is much more selection. I mean, what I wanna say, the storytelling here is not anymore based on what the picture represent as subject, so not in aesthetical part, but more in the soul part. We can talk about that. Huh? So
Yeah.
unconsciously, they say something, and they say a lot, and some of them, they are really minimalist, but at the same time really strong, and I think is the work, the editing work. I talk about the storytelling in this case. Is really good made here. It's a really good made, and as a
Thank you for
flow,
that.
and they have the same intensity. Even if they change the color, even if they change from light to shadow, but they jump with this same intensity, and I want to ask you, how much was difficult for you to work on that?
Oh, this is from a collection of, I can say, I think maybe 5,000 images or so from the confinement, from the lockdown period. So, yeah, we spent here, it was 6 months of hard lockdown. We couldn't go out. So, and I cannot skip doing photographs. So I had to do them on my own here in the house. We have proposed with another group, you know, to make a project out of this, like another 12 photographers, colleagues of mine. So we had to do pictures every day. So that also maintained us, you know, alive and kicking with photography. So when we finished this, we published a magazine, but at the same time, I had so many pictures that I wanted to do something on my website. So Deconstructed is like, you know, going to the essence of you when it's only you, and it's only you and your closest and your house, and it's about that, how you look at things, how you change your mood, you know, from depression, fear, and finally going out, you know, with some more light that you could experience when you could go out. And it's a way to put pictures together to express that sense of you know, your feelings during that confinement. So from a bit dark to light in the end, no?
Yeah, I want to say it's totally a process of therapy. The deconstruction in photography, because it's based in discarded as much as possible, and to find the real absence of what is your moment in that moment, if you are working on the moment you are. And
it's much more sensorial, this one.
Yeah. I mean, I know, because I did a project of 6 years, more than I don't know, I think I went over 300,000 pictures, and I chose just 30 pictures. So then I totally understand the weight also of the work, the difficulties, and even then when you have to make a choice, and there are some picture say to you something, and it's difficult to go away from this remind way, you know, remind the things. Sometimes some picture remind us some stuff, but in a way,
editing
we have
is
to
hard.
let it go, no?
Editing is hard.
As a editor, I know that. I mean, it's but I have to say that as a editor for my clients, it's really easy. I mean, it's really easy for me to find the puzzle, the many puzzle are inside of a work. But when I have to do a work with myself, it can take also years. I mean, the work I did during the 6 years.
That's true. I also like to edit for friends or to help them a bit, and it's much easier to do with the pictures. It's like, no, this is not gone.
Because it's like you are just there. It's like you go in a house abandoned, full of objects inside, and you are just to play. It's just discovering and playing, and you are not. I mean, in a way, you watch what the picture represent, in difference of what remind you that picture. And this is the thing. So I think in a way, you have to make a heading, especially in these strong works. It's really important to stay away from this picture, and sometimes require also to go away from 10 years and continue to doing other stuff, and then to go back.
Yes, absolutely.
And when you don't remember anymore why or what, probably, or even if you remember, but your vision is changed, your experience, you made many other experience, and then you can watch clearly what happened in front of you.
This somehow I think you need to detach emotionally a bit from the amount of work. I mean, if you have so many pictures to edit a bit, it's good also to have some time in the middle. Sometimes not. Sometimes it's better if you just, you know, vomit the work and forget about it. But well, depends what you want. If you are like stuck, it's better to park it and and
totally. In Neapolitan we say piglia l'arte, mettila da parte. That's probably, you can understand this, you speak Spanish. But it's translating is take the heart and put away. So when you learn something, just learn something, forget it about. So it was really nice
to
for me to talk with you. It was really nice this conversation, and also the picture
same
I
for
have
me.
watched. And yeah, I hope other people watch your picture and your website, and the link are in description because are really interesting. I will continue along to talk about other projects because you have many other projects in your website that are really interesting. As
I need to update. I have a couple of more that I finished lately. I will update it, but it's sometimes you don't have time for everything.
yeah, I totally understand. It's the same for me. I update my website kind of every 6 months,
I
and
love to
what I
explore the
remember or
webs.
not,
Yeah, I
you
love to
know.
explore the webs from people that bothers to have their work in the web page, and I think it's the best way to discover
Yeah,
the
yeah,
work.
totally. It's also because you don't have restriction. You talk about yourself in the way you want, and you compose in the way you want, and this is the best
Exactly.
things.
Yeah.
But if the person listen this podcast, I would suggest for sure to get a look to these two projects. Is a walking distances that I think is really interesting. Also in the composition of editing, and this other one, the Smuggler Rugby Club, also it's really interesting, and also to jump in a totally different mood and going in the living forest. Also it's a really interesting project, I think. And
Thank you very much for that.
thank you again for your time and the talk, and was really nice.
Yeah, thank you, Emiliano. See you soon.
Thank you for listening to this podcast, and if you want to learn more about us, you can visit the link allmylinks.com, Berlin Explorer, or our website bexproject.com. And if you want to follow us, you can always get news from Instagram on our account BEEX Project. Thank you again, and see you in the next episode.